It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Chiefs and the Eagles on EA Sports.
Well, the skies are clear, the sun is out, but don't be deceived. There's a big-time nip in the air on this crisp autumn day at Lincoln Financial Field. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Brandon Gaudin joined by Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Chiefs in this matchup, and this is going to be a heck of a chess match. This offense against a defense that will take no prisoners out there.
It's going to be a big-time battle, and I think that both of these teams have that mindset of, we're going to do what we do and make the other guys react to us. And we've definitely got a couple of headstrong coordinators who won't back down from a challenge. So this will be a battle of wits as much as it'll be a battle of brawn.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Patrick Mahomes now in his 5th season with the Chiefs, ready to bring out this high-powered Kansas City offense for the first time.
Another big year from arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. And while we enjoy his excellence, let's not take it for granted. He threw for over 4,700 yards, second only to Deshaun Watson, 38 touchdown passes, and led the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl while completing a career-high 66% of his passes. He did have a toe injury during the playoffs that hobbled him, and he had off-season surgery to correct that. We expect this guy to continue to be magnificent.
They go play fake. Mahomes. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that's caught inside the 35. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27.
But I think it's about time I took my eyes off of the secondary or the guys with the football. How about the offensive line on that snap? They took care of business.
Absolutely, and when he can stay in the pocket like that, you're going to get big plays like we just saw. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes going for it all. And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. Looking to throw is Mahomes. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath. Maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. For the first time, we get our look here at the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts, the second-year quarterback out of Oklahoma.
A lot of expectations for Jalen Hurts this year, but he has the support of the franchise, including the man who owns the franchise. Had a 4-game audition at the tail end of last year and did enough that the Eagles sent Carson Wentz to Indianapolis. They're expecting Jalen Hurts to be their quarterback of the present and the future.
They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Come on now.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Here's Hurts to throw. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that'll set him back 5.
Let's go, let's go.
Still first down.
Hurts a handoff to Sanders. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Watkins that time, but now it'll be 3rd down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Throwing is Hurts. It's caught by Sanders. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. As the Chiefs head back out here, Charles, we got to talk about Kansas City right now. 1-2. One of the tougher early season schedules in the NFL, that's for sure. But they got by the Browns week 1. But then the Sunday night loss to Baltimore, followed up by a 30-24 loss at home week 3 to the visiting LA Chargers. So now KC in the cellar in the AFC West. First time they've been under 500 since week 10 of 2015. So again, Charles, it's early, but do you see a cause for concern?
I actually see 2 causes for concern, and one of them is the defense, because they've given up 29, 36, and 30 points in the last 3 games. But the second cause for concern is just how much better the division has gotten. Denver off to a hot start. Las Vegas off to a hot start. You know, and of course the Chargers just came in and beat them. So in past years, they've won the division in a runaway. This year, they can still win the division. There's no doubt about it. But I think everything will be a fight.
Well, 3 of the next 4 on the road. You've got their game coming up at Philadelphia, and then they'll be home for Buffalo on Sunday night, and then at Washington and at Tennessee. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Demarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one. But it's going to be second down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now here's Mahomes. They complete it to Hill. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 38-yard line. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Another huge season last year for Tyreek Hill, teaming up with Patrick Mahomes. Close to 1,300 yards receiving. 15 touchdowns as well, and that was second only to Devontae Adams. We know about the big plays. Also makes the dependable chain-moving catches as well.
Mahomes able to find Robinson.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield, because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You don't see that a ton, do you? With a cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A good pickup there at 22.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
5 yards from the end zone, 1st and goal. They'll run with Edwards-Helaire. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Not the kind of gain that will go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll run. Here's Burton, the fullback. And he's going to take it into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Mike Burton, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. And, boy, that was a heavy set. I think they had 3 tight ends out there. The fullback, you knew what they were going to do.
Yeah, they weren't trying to fool anybody at all, were they? There was none of this show you heavy set, bootleg it out. Nah. Big guys up front, hand it to the big guy in the backfield.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. From the 6. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Well, the Eagles offense again coming out here 1-2 on the season. They were winners week 1 in Atlanta, but since then have lost at home to the Niners and then on the road in Dallas Monday night week 3. And now coming up, the Eagles getting some tough games all in a row. Home for Kansas City week 4, week 5 at Carolina, and then back home for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucs in week 6. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 22. Hurts. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. On the draw, here's Sanders. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Hurts sets up to throw it. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. So the completion there, and CD, as we know, trying to defend against an NFL quarterback, that's one thing. Trying to defend against a mobile NFL quarterback, that's quite another. What's the plan here defensively?
Well, the pass rush has to still try and get to him, and especially the guys on the edge, but they're going to go maybe a count slower, right? They want to make sure they don't get too far upfield where he steps up and takes off through a lane. The same is true for those interior guys as well. So you've got to change it up with him. Try and keep him hemmed into the pocket, and occasionally you throw a spy on it. A fast linebacker or one of your extra defensive backs who can dance with him a little bit if he takes off and runs.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 44-yard line. Now a carry for Sanders. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2nd down at 4. From the gun, it's Hurts. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 19. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
This has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Here's Sanders. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Second down, back to Sanders. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
He'll look to throw. Open man, it's Rager. He's got it. And the Eagles are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
He'll look to throw. Throw right side, caught by Goddard, the tight end. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Now 2nd quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession as they come up now 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw here. Steps away to his left. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. That one in the books as a 12-play drive, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Here we go.
Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. And he is closing in on the 100-yard mark for the day.
And it appears that he loved the fact that they're going to play this game earlier. You know, daytime, he's out there running around, feeling good about himself. Whatever his prep was coming in, he was able to get out there quick and fire away.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
Come on, baby.
Give him 13 yards there and a Kansas City first down.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a do-it-all back, and he did plenty on that run. And as a rookie, 803 yards rushing for the season, and Kansas City may look to up his workload a little bit in year 2. The last pick of the first round in 2020, he more than justified that selection with his ability to run the football and catch it out of the backfield.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. From midfield, here's Mahomes. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. The hit comes late. We saw it. There's your flag.
And we know that there's a guideline, right? Ball's gone. You get one step. If you're within one step of the quarterback, you can hit him as long as it's still done legally. But anything outside of that, looks like an extra step was involved.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap. He locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing now is Mahomes. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. They stop it for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a first down.
And this will not have the distance to get there. Short, no good, just under the crossbar. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Jalen Reagor was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Shotgun snap, and then the give to Sanders. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll set up a throw. Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. Now, the #1 mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
And what a great call defensively there, because they decided to bring pressure off the corner. And a lot of times, those big linemen, they can't account for the speed of a defensive back. And that time, he made a beeline right for the quarterback and got him. The cat blitz, tough to defend.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this kick will be touchdown as they spot it inside the 45-yard line. KC's offense ready to take over. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, so.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up, because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to a stretch, and guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did, because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
Mecole Hardman, the intended target. That'll bring up second down. To throw, it's Mahomes. Open man is Hill. He's got it. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Right back to Edwards-Helaire on first down. Despite the strong run, he'll be hit and dropped shy of the 45. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. That's complete to Robinson. And he's got this down to the 35. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here comes Edwards-Helaire on the toss right. Able to fight through one tackle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 51 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. Well, that is a running back who is not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy is made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. Here's Edwards-Helaire. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. What a play there by Fletcher Cox to get in and knock him down behind the line.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Second and 14. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points. But he could not get that to stick. And that is a golden opportunity wasted there. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Looking to throw is Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down shy of the first down marker at the 11. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
Butker's kick here is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll start with a handoff to Sanders. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
2nd down, back to Sanders. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 34. Mahomes going to throw. That to his running back, Edwards-Helaire. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Working from the gun, Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down.
And these two continue to work so well together. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey. Maybe the best quarterback and tight end in the game today. 105 catches for Kelsey last year. 2nd among NFL tight ends.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Looking sideline, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And it's 2nd down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time, and it's 3rd down.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
The Chiefs on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. He is going to find Hill here. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
2 minutes remaining in the first half, 10-7, our score. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Mahomes firing complete, and he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Demarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one, and it'll bring up third down. Mahomes to throw once more. He finds Robinson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Well, whenever you call and run the hitch route, a lot of times that ball's got to be in the air before the receiver even turns around. That's the result of throwing it so many times in practice. Is really a timing route. Make sure that ball's out of your hands, and oftentimes the receiver turns around, and there's the ball. Nice completion there.
The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now here's Mahomes. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. He was trying to get that to Edwards-Helaire out of the backfield, but it'll be second and goal. And again, it's Mahomes. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Big play coming here. It's third and goal. Here's Mahomes to throw. And he's got it. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. They'll go. It's Edwards-Helaire. And not only will he not get in, he's going to lose yardage. They stuff him back at the 4. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line. The Eagles offense going to take over late in this first half. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Hurts. He'll fire it deep for Rager. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Let's go.
Here's Hurts to throw. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 14. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Now a fair catch called for and taken here, and that'll set up his guys in great field position. We're pretty woeful there, just 23 yards on the punt. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. The Chiefs offense and Tyreek Hill heading back out onto the field, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense. Is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Mahomes now on 1st down. It's Kelsey on the ground. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the Eagles.
Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see. But 1st down, Hurts. He'll fire it deep for Rager. And incomplete on the deep ball. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We were treated to an excellent first half from the gunslinger, Patrick Mahomes. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for Kansas City. And they've definitely been able to exploit some holes in that opposing secondary, as they threw for close to 200 yards in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. It's the Eagles ready to see the football first, and they trail here as we resume action in this third quarter. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Eagles ready to go on offense to begin this third quarter. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this game. And, you know, I think the defense is saying back to them, why don't you guys focus on getting some first downs, put some drives together, give us a little bit of a break here. If we can get some rest, we'll play even better for you. And, oh, by the way, pay off a few of those drives with some points, too.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. That catch good for only a couple.
At the 27.
Second and 8. Throwing is Hurts. The Sanders has got it complete. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he's got some space here. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 57 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
They'll run with Sanders. And this time they were ready for him as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. But down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the cornerbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field. But the best ones in the game are the complete cornerbacks, able to tackle and run support, as we just saw there.
And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Hurts sets up to throw it. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Anthony Hitchens in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Well, we saw him score on the ground earlier in the ball game. This time, the defense says not so fast.
Yeah, that's good scouting and good awareness, isn't it? Because you always have to be wary of him keeping it himself, especially in this part of the field. Because if he doesn't like what he sees, you know he'll take off and try and go for it himself.
The kick by Elliott is good, and that will knot us up at 10. So they come away from this opening drive in the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, that has to be job one, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. This one taken just inside the 10. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
Let's go!
So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And their 3-point halftime lead gone now, back to a tie game. But, Charles, I don't imagine that changes too much for this offense.
I would agree. I don't think it changes much at all, whether it's a 3-point lead or a tie game. They know they have their work cut out for them, and they were going to run their offense in the same vein.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Here's Edwards-Helaire as they will start on the ground. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Now Edwards-Helaire. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time, they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Back to throw here. And his throw here's incomplete. Not that time for Watkins. And it's 3rd and 5.
Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses, because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion force there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 27. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he's got room. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
82 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Interesting. He told us that he likes to run right more than left, but there he looked pretty comfortable going left for a big gain, Charles.
Kind of like a basketball player who has a dominant side that he dribbles to, but the ability to cross that over, change it up, and break a tendency can often lead to great results, as we just saw there.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. The tight end Kelsey was the intended target, and now it's 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he's going to take this close to the first down marker as he stopped at the Eagles' 39. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Mahomes now on first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack.
And as we all remember, 2020, not the greatest of years for the Eagles as a whole, but you certainly can't pin it on their pass rush. They were absolutely terrific throughout the season. 49 sacks as a unit, the third highest total in the NFL, much of it generated by their front four.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. To throw, it's Mahomes. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's gonna bring up fourth down.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
Butker's kick here is good, and they will take the lead at 13-10. So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Philadelphia's offense ready to go again. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their own 24. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He'll fire deep for Rager.
That's caught at the 25. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line.
Jalen Hurts, not a terribly big fella at 6'1", but his arms got plenty of life to it, and that was a thing of beauty there.
And what was amazing to me was the fact he was able to get as much on the ball as he did because he was on the run. Normally, when you're on the move like that, you don't expect the ball to go that far. You would think you need your lower body to be involved. That was an all-arm throw.
And the final number of the next-gen stats, that ball traveling a full 59 yards through the air.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They have certainly looked his way in this third quarter. Another catch, and it's good for a first down.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a first and goal.
So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's second and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them.
Second and goal from the 1. They'll try to run with Sanders, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
That's a nice example of good team defense right there. Ball was snapped at the 1-yard line. They knocked him back and caused a loss. But you notice they were trying to find any type of a gap to run through. Wasn't one available, and they stuffed the play right there in the middle of the field.
Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's third and goal. They'll drop to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. The Kansas City defense tough to throw on there, and now it's fourth down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that's going to tie us at 13.
So we're back to even after the short field goal. CD, you like the decision to kick it there?
Well, I'm glad you asked me if I like it and didn't ask me if I love it, because I'm not even sure I like it, but I do get it. First job on this drive, tie the game. They did that. But now they've got to put a challenge to their offense and say, can't settle for 3 anymore, guys. We've got to get the ball in the end zone from here on out.
Square now at 13 all as he sends this one away.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it.
And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. 2 yards a loss, second and 12. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. All even as we get ready to start the fourth.
Second down and 12 at the 19-yard line.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 22 yards there, a first down.
And Kansas City drafted McCole Hardman, hoping he could be something of a Tyreek Hill clone. They're still trying to find his exact niche. He did have 41 catches last year, and he makes a nice one there.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Hill. 7 yards, the pickup there. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 98 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course, you got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. McCole Hardman, the intended target, and it's 3rd and 5.
I usually hesitate when I say a guy's got world-class speed, but this guy might. So let's fire the starter's pistol. Let's go. If you've got him, you've got to try and use him. A lot of anticipation with the ball in the air, but no, incomplete.
Mahomes going to throw. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Looking for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. On 2nd and 10, Mahomes. He'll drop that off to Edwards-Helaire. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball, let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Edwards-Helaire. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's an excellent stop right there here in this tie game. They're doing their best to hold the fort and at least force a field goal attempt.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Again, Edwards-Helaire. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And this time he is in.
Yes.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Chiefs have broken our tie as they take the lead. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
Butker now to add the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Takes it at the 7. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And now after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, and it's 3rd down.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is caught. That's Watkins. And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
To throw again on 2nd down. Hurts. He'll find the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And what a year Devontae Smith had at Alabama in 2020. The first wide receiver to win the Heisman since Desmond Howard in 1991 while he was at Michigan. The 10th overall pick of the Eagles, who traded up from number 12 to get him. He's reunited with his old quarterback Jalen Hurts from a few years back at Alabama. 117 catches last year, led all of major college football.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. Not much there, only a yard.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Hurts. Buying time to his left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A 4th-quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. And you've probably got some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And going deep for Hill. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mahomes looking for Hill again. This time it's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down. Here's Mahomes to throw. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Demarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now it's Mahomes again. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. He is going to find Hill here. And he will have a Chiefs first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Bart, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another first down.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
On first down, Mahomes. Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They go back to the ground with Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
The 6-yard marker brings up 2nd and 4 at the 5-yard line.
Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. 2nd down, back to Edwards-Helaire. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Edwards-Helaire. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire able to take it in from 1 yard out. And the Chiefs answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the fourth. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. From the 10. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now back to work for Miles Sanders in the Philly offense. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuffed big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always had the confidence. If they just get their assignments down, they would get in sync with their runners, and off they went.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know, in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we call a flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
One of the better defensive linemen in the league, can be absolutely dominant at times. Chris Jones has been a Pro Bowler each of the last 2 years. In 2020, just 7.5 sacks, but he did have a career high of 15.5 just 3 seasons ago in 2018. He and Frank Clark provide excellent pressure against opposing quarterbacks.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. He's back to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down.
Well, this is getting close to a no-win situation now. They've got one final shot. They're on their end of the field, and it's fourth and long. This might require a little extra razzle-dazzle to get it done.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. Victory in the cards now for the Chiefs as they take a knee here. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Mahomes down to a knee, and that should just about write a finish to this one.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they could pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.